It is Elle here on my long drive home from Chicago, so here we are. I thought I would talk about what makes a good tarot card reader, because I know you guys are into tarot cards, and while I'd love for you to come to me if you need a tarot card reading, I also understand that I'm a little more pricey than probably a lot of people. So if you go to one, though, let me tell you about a few of the people that I have run into, personalities I'll call them, that you might want to just be a little weary of. The first, obviously, is somebody who doesn't have enough experience, doesn't really understand how to interpret, and yet still wants to put themselves out there and start reading for people because they might give you bad advice. And let's face it, most people go to tarot card readers for advice. So you want to get somebody who's a little experienced, has been doing it for at least a few years, I would think. 2-3 years would be good, at least, you know. If it's under a year that they've been reading cards, I would probably hold off and not go with them yet. Let them get a little bit more experience. That's just me. Also, I run into a lot of people that read tarot that are really wannabe counselors. They, and there is nothing wrong with giving advice, because a lot of people are going to a tarot card reader for advice. That's what they're asking for. So it's not wrong for a tarot card reader to do that. The part where it gets a little dicey, and from what I've seen, I'll give you an example. I have a perfect one. I wanted to get a puppy at one point. My dog, my old German Shepherd, you may have seen her in some of my videos. Her name's Hannah. She actually, 3 different vets told me they thought she had cancer. And so I love my dogs, and I hate to be, in that loss moment. And even though I know they go on and they're with you and all of that, I still thought, well, I want to get a puppy now so I can try to have it around Hannah as much as it can be, and maybe it'll pick up some of Hannah's traits and her personality, because I just love Hannah so much. She's my girl. So I was with, I can't remember, we were probably in one of the classes, and I think it was like a higher up teacher teaching us, going beyond the normal, here's the meaning of the tarot cards type class, an advanced class, let me put it that way. And I got in with a girl who, they pair you up and you had to do readings on each other, and you're going in there with a specific something in mind, goal. And this girl, so you ask a question, and my question was, when will I get a puppy? Because, I just started looking for one, and I wasn't sure when I'd find one. So tell me about that. I just kind of left it up. Something pretty generic, And this girl went on and on and on. She's doing the reading, and she goes on and on about how, now's not a good time for me to get a puppy. I work full time, and that's not fair to the dog. And, she just had a lot of her own opinions on whether I should get a puppy or not, which I thought was kind of funny. I actually took the dog to doggy daycare every day, so she wasn't left at home. In this girl's mind, though, she jumped to right away that the dog was going to be left at home, and that, she'd be locked in a cage at that all day, and not so. I already had that figured out. And it worked out great. My puppy is now over a year old, and guess what? Hannah didn't have cancer. The irony of it. I have 3 dogs now. But the greatest thing is the puppy, who is a Belgian Tervuren named Sabin, has turned out to be a wonderful dog and does have some of Hannah's traits. And, Hannah was kind of her mommy. Raising her, it was adorable. Anyway. Long story short, there are those people out there that are biased, and they have their own opinions, and they are going to take that moment to tell you how you should apply their opinions to your life. Do you know someone who has little tolerance for that? That would be me. So anyway, just be careful about readers like that who are using it really to push their own agenda, because that's just weird, and that's not what we should be doing as tarot card readers. ultimately, our person we're reading for, I'm just going to call them sitters here too, that person needs to make up their own mind on what's best for them. And just like your parents used to tell you, you know this is best for you, yada, 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 and you let it go in one ear and out the other. Sitters often are going to do that too if you're preachy, because nobody wants to be preached to. Best course of action is give somebody different options and then explore the options and what the outcomes are going to be. And that's kind of what the Celtic Cross does. It's a good card spread for that. All right. So you got your preachy agenda people. Be careful about them. Anybody comes at you with kind of their own biases and their own beliefs and they're putting them on you, don't take that reading real seriously, because my gosh, who wants to do that? Who wants to hear about that? That's right for that person. It may not be right for you. And then there's the counselor people. So these people are, there's this one group that I used to practice in. She was more, it was a psychic group, as a matter of fact. Heavy on message, very, very thin, very thin on intuition. So, you get those people that want to give you this wonderful message. They want to make you feel good. They want to be your spiritual counselor. They want to guide you and give you all this advice and kind of show you the way and the truth and the light and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I know they think they've figured out life and how people should live, and now they're going to tell you. And it reminds me of, I used to help people start businesses back in the day, in my other life. And we had, at one time, we'd go over their business plans with them, and we'd have them stand up and tell us all about their business, their elevator pitch and all that good stuff. And we'd give them pointers and different information. Yes, I have lived many lives. Anyhow, these two young girls, I'm telling you, they were early 20s. They were going to be sex therapists, okay? Great, fantastic. But they were really going to walk older women. One of the questions was, how are you going to help older women, right? Issues all their own that these young girls have never experienced. After you go through menopause, you deal with different issues. And very different, sex is very different than when you're 20 years old. Just is. So these young girls, they felt they could do it and they had it all figured out, but there was really no good information that they could give us. Like, they were not working with a gynecologist as their advisor. You gotta get that figured out and get all of that situated, so that when that comes to you, where to refer people or who to reach out to find the answers or what have you. So it's kind of like that. People that really don't have the experience, but they want to give you the advice anyway, because for whatever in their mind, or they have limited experience, but they are extrapolating, is that the word? They're putting their limited experience and just blanket covering everything, and want to give information and advice based on their very limited experience. So there's a lot of people out there like that too, that just really aren't quite qualified, and they want to also just talk people up. I used to pair up with that one girl. Oh my gosh, she would tell me the most wonderful stuff, and she'd and she'd wait at the end and do and wait for me to give her feedback, and I thought, you've not given me any evidence whatsoever, not even a little. You just told me a lot of nice stuff. That's fantastic, but I'm not here for that. Like, you gotta give me something, girl, to make me know that you're connected, to make me know that you really are kind of seeing my life and seeing an outcome for a situation. You haven't even told me what the situation is, or even close to describing it. So if you get people like that just want to give you advice, that how do they know anything that they should? I'm really if they don't have the facts behind them, if they don't have the experience, if they just want to give you the la 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 talk, the good stuff, the nice advice. But how do you give advice? You better have some real good life experience. And really, at the end of the day, it's not about them, the reader. It's not about their life. It's never about my life. It's never about, my story, what I've experienced in life, how I approach things. It's about what the cards are saying, different from me, this person can do, can be successful at, a good approach. I always explore what might be difficulties in this situation too, so the person's aware of them ahead of time. If we do the Celtic crossbred, I throw that in there because I think that's important, that if you're going to, say, start a business venture, we'll just go with those young girls again, that they would have known the difficulties they might face ahead of time. If you know those, you can think about them now and how you're going to handle them before you stand up in front of people evaluating your business and for potential funding even, and you have not dotted your I's and crossed your T's. So be careful about the advice people. Be careful about the wannabe counselors. They should be reading the cards. They should be getting all their information intuitively through the cards, not from their life, not because they're a member of PETA and they don't want you to have another dog, whatever. That should not ever factor into it. If you're looking for a counselor, get a real counselor. I'm just going to throw that out there. People with training, because the wannabe counselors, if they're not actually reading the information from the cards, it's coming from them. And unless they're a qualified counselor, I don't think they should be giving you that kind of information. Unless they're really, really experienced in that area, they've done it, they've been there, done that, and have a real wisdom to them and can share it. Okay, I'll give them that. But really, you want the intuitive. You should be looking for the intuitives. I mean, that's what it's all about. So you want the person that can connect with the cards, that can read what the cards say, that can interpret correctly, and can give you good advice based on what they're seeing in the cards, not based on their life story and what they've experienced. Because your life is different. You want advice from the cards, from the spirit world, and that's the difference. There's two different worlds. You got your reader, and I've seen a lot of readers just, they pull stuff out of a hat. Or you've got your intuitives, people who are really connected, and you want that person who's really connected. So look for somebody with really good reviews, somebody puts the time into it. If they have kind of a family history, like my family goes back as card readers for so many generations. I mean, I can go back 4 generations that I know of. I'm sure it goes back beyond that, but I don't know them per se or what their habits were like. Things just, you don't know. After a while, your family line, unfortunately, we lose it. So, if they've got it in their blood, I think that makes a difference too. But at least get somebody experienced and somebody who's really reading the cards and not just wanting to tell you their life story and be your counselor. Because that's really not what you're paying for. Pay a real counselor at that point. But if you're looking for intuitive, kind of connecting with the spirit world, and getting advice from the spirit world and the guides, and your guides and their guides, and getting channeling and getting information that way, like you see what I do in my card readings, that's not coming from me. People are always like, oh, you did such a good job on that reading, and I'm like, thanks. I just spit out really what came in my mind, though. I mean, really, I just got flashes and stuff in my mind, and I know how to interpret cards. That's it. It's not coming from me. The interpretation part, if there's a mistake in that came from me. That's exactly right. That came from me. And that's how readers can make mistakes, but the spirit world doesn't make mistakes. They try to show us the best they can, and it's up to us after that. So anyway, just be careful about your reader. Read the reviews, and if you get anybody who's all like la la la, nice, sweet, wants to tell you you're wonderful all the time, be wary of that reader, or that everything's going to work out all the time. That's not real life. You want the person who'll be honest with you and just give you what they're seeing, and will say it, but in a way that doesn't leave you feeling hopeless. So if I don't see something working out, I always want to ask, okay, well, what direction maybe can they go in? What looks like it might pan out? So always somebody that can give you more information. All right, guys, well, take care. There's a cop behind me, so I better stop. Take care. Bye-bye.